students, here we are again. Miss Bartlett and the literature book. And today, your sample is going to be how to read a poem. And that's a little different than reading a short story. Short story, you've got characters, you've got setting, and usually there's a sequence of events, the plot, some tension, some conflict, and a resolution. Now, the poem is more about a powerful, emotional experience. Something that makes you go, oh, I never saw that before. I never thought of it that way. Or that reaches into your heart and makes you feel something that you know as a familiar feeling. And then you have that shared connection with the poet. It's an emotional moment, an aha moment that the poet is sharing with you, the reader. And just as we said in our first video, every reader may have a different emotional experience based on that response of who that reader is. So today we're looking at two parts of a poem, two elements. We're looking at the symbolism, the symbols in a poem, and the imagery. Images, remember, are those visual scenes that you are transported to that place, to that setting, that description that the poet provides. And the poet we're going to look at is one of the most famous American poets ever, Robert Frost. You may have heard of his other poems. He was poet laureate for a while, but he wrote this poem in 1928. And I'll read it for you, and then we'll talk about it. It's on page 889 in your book, if you'd like to follow along. 889. It's called Acquainted with the Night. And if you're acquainted with something, what does that mean? It means you know it. You know it pretty well. Your friends are your acquaintances. Well, Frost, the persona of his poem, is acquainted, is friends with the night. Maybe you're a night person too. Have trouble sleeping, like to stay up late? Maybe you'll relate to this poem. I have been one acquainted with the night. I have walked out in rain and back in rain. I have outwalked the furthest city light. I've looked down the saddest city lane. I have passed the watchman on his beat and dropped my eyes, unwilling to explain. I have stood still and stopped the sound of feet when far away an interrupted cry came over houses from another street, but not to call me back or say goodbye. And further still, at an unearthly height, one luminary clock against the sky proclaimed the time was neither wrong nor right. I have been one acquainted with the night. Frost gives us lots of symbols there. What's the most obvious symbol? The night. What is the nighttime? Other people are sleeping. No one is at work. He hears his footsteps as he goes down the street, alone. The voice he hears calling out doesn't call for him. The night suggests a loneliness, a symbol of one disconnected from the rest of the world. So the night stands for more than simply a time when the clock is a certain time. But the clock is a symbol too in this poem. And notice the clock is far away. Again, the distance the persona feels from his society. He has these images. The rain, another thing of sadness. He's far from the city light. He's remote. He passes the watchman, but he doesn't say hi. He doesn't acknowledge him. He puts his eyes away. He's not willing to explain. He doesn't want to have to talk to anybody. You ever feel that way? Lonely, removed, detached, distant. You don't want to have to explain yourself to anybody? Maybe you too have been acquainted with the night. The imagery is created by these details. The clock, the watchman, the sound of his feet as he goes through this lonely walk. Houses from another street. He doesn't even discuss his house or his street. Frost creates the emotion of loneliness, of detachment, of solitude, which is neither wrong nor right. Maybe next time you're up late at night, you'll think of Frost and his poem. I hope that helps you understand symbolism and imagery in this example poem. We'll be talking about it in the discussion board. I'll see you there. Bye!